Stop worrying about your feelings, don't care about them, ignore them, just power through and go to the sunset. I mean, is that really the case? Because actually there is some truth in that, but in the other way, it's one of the most destructive advice that you can hear. So let's break this down from a psychological standpoint, since I'm about to graduate psychology and I'm in this self-development thing for a very long time, almost a decade, even though I'm a young fella. But hey, already got plenty of experience, 5 years studying psychology. So let's break this thing down and we'll get to that. So you hear a lot of advice on the internet that if you feel bad, all you gotta do is just power through, stop being a chicken, and just move forward. And you know what? The great paradox of that is that in many ways, I'm not gonna say most, but I'm gonna say in many ways, this is actually a very good advice, because there are a lot of people who aren't depressed. There are a lot of people who just get this vibe of depression, who just get this vibe of being a loser, who just get this vibe of not doing anything because, yeah, I just don't feel like it. So in that way, stop paying attention to that. Everything is okay with you. Set the goals, set the standards that you have, take action and form habits that will lead you to it. Take small steps toward exercise, toward self-development, toward building certain habits that will make you a better person. And if you don't feel like it, well, it happens. You're not always gonna feel like it. It's about the discipline. It's about forming the habit. You're not always gonna feel like it, and somehow you're still gonna make it. You know, I love to train, but probably like 60 or 70% of the times I don't actually want to train. But once I do, I love this feeling. I love the feeling of discipline. I love the sport. I love all of it. And I know it was worth it. The benefits are way higher than costs. Even though the costs are that sometimes you don't want to do this stuff. So in that case, ignoring your feeling is a pretty good idea. On the other hand, if we are taking this many steps further, right? And suddenly we tell that being depressed, you know, when you have heavy depression, it's not real. When you physically can't move, you just gotta ignore it, power through. When you are overburdened with 2 jobs, kids, workouts, and you are keep pushing. Well, this suddenly becomes a different vibe. This suddenly becomes a very toxic advice that can destroy you, because we are also not machines. And yes, while sometimes we're just gonna have the discipline and ignore certain things and just get the job done, get the momentum. That's what we need to do. Sometimes you notice you don't want to do stuff, but you have to. And once you get to the momentum, you focus, you start working on it, you realize the job is easy. It's sometimes. But sometimes you're so burned out and so destroyed by the burdens of life that it's not so easy. You're just gonna keep burning yourself until you have a mental breakdown. You gotta know when to stop, when to speed up, when to coast. And sometimes there's time to rest. But time to actually stop ignoring your feelings. I mean, as I said, it's not a good idea to ignore your feelings. It's just sometimes you gotta go through discipline. It's just sometimes you gotta realize that these feelings are maybe some feelings of laziness and stuff like that. But if the feelings are of burnout, of feeling really down, and if you feel something is wrong, it's not the time to power through. It's the time to analyze your situation, maybe get some help if necessary. If not, create a plan of action, get some rest, and stop powering through like a machine, because you are not a machine. You're an individual who, yes, has to overcome some weaknesses in you, like everyone else, but it doesn't mean that you gotta kill yourself through that, through all of these efforts, and suddenly become a robot whose mere existence is just powering through hardships. Life is not about that, my friend.